There was once a day that I would pray for you. I'd go and misbehave just so you'd notice too. Sneaking looks up and down from across.
If you don't have, get my book called Lead Yourself. And it's basically saying what I said before. Once you get to a level of maturity, adult, you need to disconnect your 100% dependency on people, society, and you put yourself in the position of the leader of your world. Just turned 40 years old, big 4-0, and I decided that I will make time to come on here and just give a general 40-year overview and just the tips and tricks that I've learned in life to move myself forward into my 40s and above. And hopefully maybe these tips or just being aware of just my journey can give you some ideas, tips and trips or inspiration for you in your journey of life. So just a quick overview of my 40 years on this planet. Obviously it begins with just understanding the whole emotional turbulence that we go through as children, as teenagers, because we are naturally born into a dependency of people. And that dependency goes on into our teenagers and our young adult years. What do I mean by dependency? When we are born into this world, we depend on our parents' community for guidance, for pure safety and guidance to avoid unexpected or expected harms, so we can stay alive, and also so we can just be safe. So we naturally become dependent on our environment, on people, and our belief system is a dependent belief system on the society, which is men and the things and the organizations and the institutions that men create. We really believe that that is our source of guidance for safety and for living. Learn the art of detaching ourselves from that dependency, because it's very clear if you pay attention, and you don't have to pay too much attention. It's just very obvious that when we believe and put men, society, above ourselves and allow them to dictate to us as adults what is beauty, how to sexually express ourselves, how to socially express ourselves, how to serve God, whatever it might be, allowing human people to dictate that is very dangerous. Because even though you might have some people that have good intentions, the nature of people, the character, the being of people, in my belief, is flawed in its essence, meaning it's a mixture of good and evil. And if you depend on people, that evil, that negativity within them can affect you. So what I'm saying is that once you detach yourself from the dependency of people, you stop letting them decide for you the standards of life, then you are able to increase the chances that they don't misuse or misguide you in a way that can cause you harm in all areas of life. Financial, God, Yah, centered, related relationships, whatever it might be. Within this 40-year journey, what I've realized is that the only two forces that you can trust 100% in putting you first is the positivity energy, life providing energy, which is Yah, in yourself. Regardless if you understand what you are doing or not, you genuinely want the best for yourself. Now, do other people genuinely want the best for you? Maybe, maybe not. Within this 40-year journey, it showed me the importance of detaching myself from the absolute belief in man for guidance in life, and give more power, empower myself as an individual and begin to trust more in your YAHHILA instinct. When I say YAHHILA instinct, or godly instinct, I'm referring to the positive, life-giving energies that you are aware of and you believe in, because there are also negative energies. You can also negatively mislead yourself. But how do you assure and have some type of basis for your decision making, even if you are entering into the realm of leading yourself, meaning you are the one who is making, meaning you are empowering yourself to make the final decision within your life. And you have made it clear to yourself that society can be flawed. And due to society, whether it's your friends, family, community, government, due to them being able to be flawed, you have to develop the character to be able to manage them people, society, the same way you have to manage any other tool, so it won't be used in a bad way, but it can be used in a good way. So just to close this point up, what I'm saying is that begin to view society, people as tools that can help you be better, greater, more happier, more satisfied, or the opposite. And it's like any other tool, whether it's money or whatever it might be. A tool must be controlled and managed so it will be activated properly. If it's not activated properly, that tool might be misused and cause you harm. And that's the whole concept that I've understand within this 40-year journey, that one must lead themselves, lead and manage. One must lead themselves, which is managing their life, their society, so it become an asset and not a liability. Based on my experience with friends, family, loved ones, they might not be aware, they might not be conscious, they might not be intentionally trying to cause you harm, but it's in their nature to put themselves first aside anybody else. Whether it's people, institutions, governments, that is just the nature of things and a part of this life game, which it is a game. We have to understand the nature of the rules, the nature of the characteristics of the different pieces that's a part of this game, so we can always position ourselves in a winning position. So that's just a general quick overview of my 40-year journey. It's been challenging, like we all, relationships, financially, ups and downs. Just do your best, listen to people. I've learned that it's very important to have a belief that you might not know it all. And many people have answers, meaning I've learned to understand within this 40-year journey that the downloads, the answers that we pray for, however you might pray to God, Yah, that we pray for, comes a lot of times through your conversations and through your observing other people. So that's what I term having the ability to humble yourself and to allow information from people to help you understand certain things and ideas that can make you a better person. Now that I'm 40 in a day, what are the things that I will leave behind? The beliefs, the characteristics, whatever it might be. What are the things that I feel that is not servicing me at the level that I need? Because we have to be very honest with ourselves. You have some things that's servicing us and giving us value, whether it's people, community, but at the same time, we have to decide, is that service at the level that we require from them, based on the level that we want ourselves, based on the reality that we want, meaning we decide the value of the value that people give us. They don't decide, society don't decide, and based on that, we able to always push ourselves and have the society and people work based on our standards and not their standards, because their standards will be, we give you enough and that should be enough. But no, your standards that you want more. So you set your individual standards based on your experience. And then you decide as you move forward, whether it's you moving from your 20s to 30s, 40s to 50s, whatever it might be, you decide based on where you want to go to, how people must up their game. If not, you leave it behind. Whether it's people, beliefs, whatever it might be, people have to come up to your level in order for them to move forward with you, because it goes back into the understanding of you seeing people and everything in your life as tools, and you decide tools, and due to them being tools, because you are the builder of your life, you decide when and how valuable each tool is for you. So just a couple of things, a few things that I am leaving behind. Let's start with spirituality. Yeah, God. That whole belief that our community leaders was getting instructions directly from God, I'm putting that in the area of maybe, maybe not. Understand? What does that matter? All that what matters is this information valuable to me? Bringing me mental, spiritual peace and helping me find my relationship and improving my relationship with life and nature. Regardless of its truthfulness, it's true, it's the Bible, all that, I'm believing that belief behind that is the determining factor of life and how people should live their lives. And on that same note, what I'm taking with me related to God is that God, Yah, and all it's related is only referring to things that give and sustain life. Just to put clarity on what I mean life-giving is that anything that helps you live a more happier, healthy life. Everybody knows what it is, most people, especially adults, what it is to be mentally frustrated. Mentally frustrated, emotionally frustrated is not a living life reality. Anything that encourages me to develop the skill and ability to remove such frustration is of life, is of Yah, and that I'm taking. Regardless of the source, it might come. It might come in a movie or social media. It might come in music. It might come in people that I don't know, strangers. It might come from children. I don't know where it might come from, but the information, the energies that will help me to be less emotionally and mentally frustrated is Yah. Everything that will help me attain financial stability, financial freedom is of Yah. Because financial freedom allows you to remove social distractions that allows you to be more conscious in living out your purpose and your joy of life. So financial freedom, information, tools, all that is of Yah in my belief. And also all things, information, people that I believe are helping me to improve my relationships with my wife, children, friends, community. All this is of Yah. Eating healthy. You need a healthy body to make sure that your body is capable to be functional. That is of Yah. So Yah, in my understanding and what I'm taking with me to my 40 years and above life journey is that all positivity based on what I decide is of Yah, and all negativity is of the devil or anti-Yah, based on what I explained before. It's very clear, not complicated, and that's why I admonish people to view and use their inner Yah, their inner desire to be healthy and happy, to help them manage their lives, manage society, relationships. Some of the things I'm leaving behind. For example, the belief that love is that emotional fairy tale belief that social media and modern society promote of love. You have all the TV shows and all the social media, you love me, I don't love you, all of that is, in my belief, is disconnected to reality. Because in reality, especially when you are in a committed long-term relationship we understand that love is understanding, accepting of others, understanding that the fact that people are different in their creation, in their mental, emotional, physical makeup from you. And you just have to be understanding and understand that you also different. So the same understanding that you want from them, you need to also give them the patience. And just understanding that it's really actions, because you can have many emotions as you want, but being loving someone but expressing negative words or actions, I'm leaving that behind, because in my experience it don't work. Learning how to self-correct myself in relationships. I can't be depending and saying, oh, I need the love and support from my partner to push me forward and to be understanding to me, and I have outbursts. I need them to be all these different things that we hear that people are requesting their partner to somewhat accept the negative expressions that they have, regardless of the situation. Yes, you can be understanding and everything, but there's no acceptance in that part, because every individual, man and female, should be able to be mature enough to self-correct themselves and to understand that no negative expression, which I call giving expression to the devil, the anti-life energy, can be accepted and is of value within a relationship that you want to create. So each individual should always be in the constant awareness, self-awareness, to self-check themselves, so they don't let that negative idea, negative emotion be expressed. You're going to have different emotions. They might not even be yours. I say it's like radio waves. Everything come through you. You have to let negativity go. You have to let positivity be expressed, period. And in relationships, this is an ongoing thing, because you are so close to the person. So that's the first person, the person that you express the most to. Now, many say, oh, but you should be freely to express everything to your partner, things like that. No, I'm leaving that behind. If it's negative, if it's anything that I feel can offend them or can hurt them or can cause them to be less inspired, I'm leaving that behind, and I'm just letting that emotion, that thought, that feeling fade away. And I'm going to be very conscious of the things that I say and do to my partner, to the relationship that we have, to assure as best possible that we both feed positivity within each other. And yes, I will be honest, but even in your honesty, even in my honesty, I have to be very calm, relaxed, and conscious of how I choose to express my words and my concerns. A big thing that I'm taking with me is, don't let the urge or the moment of, I need to say this, I need to express, I need to get this out. If it's negative, get this out because, it's just real, it's right. Calm down. Always be nice and calm and understanding to people and everything, because the reality is that no one won't want to be screaming and angry and misunderstood. So that's something that we also have to express and provide to our partner at all times. It goes a lot into what I call spiritual warfare, which I will talk about that in 1 minute. The ability to always be conscious of the different energies that is requiring you and requesting you and trying to force you to give them physical, practical expression, regardless if it's in your actions, words, or whatever. The energies of Yah and the devil, good and negative, is always within our brain, our feelings. Everything is this energy, is this housing our soul, our body, and it's always requiring us to give it expressions, give it practical expressions. And we have to always silence the negative feelings, the anti-life feelings that we believe or can cause someone to be less inspired about life, to be less healthy, to be less consciously aware of the living things. All the things that can be negative, anti-life, shut that energy up, and all the Yah energies push it forward. But I will speak on that later. I want to go to the last and key point of the things that I'm leaving and taking with me in life. And this is in the area of money. Money in our current society is very, very important for one to be able to manage his social distractions, whether it be bill collectors, whether it be you need to have a house over your head, food, basic needs for you to move around, transportation. These things are very, very strong in our lives. And if we don't have the ability to have the money to keep these distractions at a way where they're not causing us emotional and mental stress, that is going to take up the space and the time that you need in order to live your passion and to find time to study and do the things that you enjoy. Because instead of you doing that, you will be focusing on trying to survive financially, and you not being able to do the things that you love and enjoy, that bring you peace and joy and happiness, is going to cause you stress. And you're going to give that stress and negativity to others. Yes, you can fight them emotions the same way I expressed when I mentioned the spiritual warfare, but it's going to be super, super, super hard for you to be positive and express positivity and love and life if you overwhelmed and bombarded with social distractions due to you not having the money to keep such social distractions away. You don't have to be stressed about a roof over your head because you have the money to pay. You don't have to be stressed about moving around because you have the money to pay for such things. You don't have to be stressed about food because you have the money to buy such food and keep that stress away. That's why money is very, very important. You don't have to be stressed about you not having no time to serve your Yah, serve your community, because you have the money, the passive income, whatever it might be called or whatever you might see it as. You have the money that can give you the necessary time for you to invest in your community and invest in yourself. Another key thing about money that I've learned within this 40-year journey is find a way to tap into the financial source of the industry that governs the world. And that can be a base, financial base for you as you strive to find and develop your own independent income sources. When I say tap into the current financial state of the world, that goes into school, that goes into different key trades and subjects and services that the financial industry needs and use all the time. Tap into something like that that can give you a constant, secure amount of money to keep you afloat, and also give you more so you can, over time, with your savings, develop your own independent ways of generating money. But there is a financial system that's been here for hundreds of years and is here to have many and have lots of money. Find a way to tap into that and get some of that money and use that as a base. The most popular way of people doing that is going to school and learning trades so you can be able to become service to them corporations and them institutions, and they will in return give you money because you are helping them stay afloat. You are helping their financial system move, so you are also being able to get some of them financial benefits. Tap into that. Even though I'm suggesting that you tap into that, don't be 100% dependent on that. The same way I say don't be 100% dependent on your community, your friends and family. Detach yourself as a point of growth, development, maturity. And the way you detach yourself is that you become valuable to many financial corporations. So everybody's asking for your services, and you become valuable due to you being so valuable to the different financial corporations of this financial system. You have more leverage in calling the shots. You have more leverage in deciding how much money you get paid, how many hours you work. But when you are dependent on one corporation and you have your skill is very limited and you're not developing that skill, then that can put you in a position where you are financially dependent on one source of income. See such financial corporations and institutions as also tools. In the same way as tools, you can use a tool, but you, because you are the leader of your world, this world, if a tool, a job, corporation isn't working, you need to gain the understanding on how to use other tools so you can also always get your job done, if that makes sense. What I'm saying is that your sole purpose is to develop the reality, financial reality, whatever it might be that you want. And don't put yourself in a position where the tool is controlling you, meaning they dictating to you everything. No, you are controlling the tools. Yes, there's a way that you must conduct yourself within that relationship with that financial institution. But because you are so valuable, that financial institution become a tool, and you can have many 10, 20 financial institutions, even more, that is requesting for your services, your energy, because you bring so much value that you start making the demands. And that is just positioning yourself in the financial industry where you have many options. And aside from options, you also develop your own independent financial income streams, just to give you as much leverage as possible to provide you the financial security and to prevent you being dependent on one company. That is called financial empowerment. And the belief that, oh, just get one job and work that one job for 10, 20 years, I'm leaving that behind. You should not work a job more than 2 years, 3 years, 4 years max. Move on, let it go. Keep finding and getting yourself equipped and skilled enough to being able to operate in many different companies. That way, each one of them companies become a source of income from you at any time you desire. So financial empowerment through self-empowerment and awareness is my third and key point of things that I will leave and also take to my 40s and above. To my last point, as I promised, regarding spiritual warfare. Spiritual warfare is something that we become a little more conscious when we get into adulthood. Even before adulthood, we are in this spiritual warfare fight, but we can become a little more conscious when we in our adulthood years, because we be more aware of the consequences if and when we lose, or we are in the losing end of the spiritual warfare battle. And the spiritual warfare battle is basically decision making the right decisions, because a decision is basically you having two forces, if not more, requiring you to move and act in a certain way. You have to decide in which way you want to act, which is the decision. Now, when I say spiritual warfare, we all are aware of making decisions practically, but spiritual warfare is referring to the positive and negative energies that is requesting and requiring you to give it expression. For example, when you are in a state of being, you have negative energies. You might have something negative to say about somebody. You might have some negative experiences towards somebody, towards someone. You can choose to out and say them, or you can choose not to say them, or you can choose to say them in a more positive but constructive criticism way, compassionate, understanding way, and not a judgmental way, meaning you would just staying in the situation real calmly, just speaking your concerns and trying to seek more understanding on a situation or on a person, which is most times accepted in a positive way, because everybody might have opinion or a different viewpoint on some things, and they might differ from other people. But that's one thing versus you expressing anger through the tone of your voice, through the choice of your words. And that goes with your children, your husband, your wife, whatever it might be, and everything. You being able to go through your day-to-day activities when you are consciously aware of the negative energies and the positive energies that houses your mental and your spiritual and your emotional, and you are constantly trying to only express the positivity. And that is called the spiritual warfare. And I manage and I encourage everybody to be aware of this daily battle and always seek to end the day with more wins than losses. And we all have said, done negative, evil things to people that we regret or don't regret. Them are what we call losses in the spiritual warfare arena. But we've also been sources of inspiration, encouragement, positivity to other people, whether it's our family, friends, and them are what we call wins in the spiritual warfare. And from my understanding, the true meaning of one being a winner in life versus being a loser in life is one being always able to count for more wins in that day, in his daily days, than losses. There's no way, in my belief, that you're going to be just 100% a winner, because it's not easy. It's not easy. The way the emotions come, just and the way it happens, the mental, the emotional, is just, so you might burst out, especially when it comes to the people that you be with the most. But once you're consciously aware of that, you can consciously choose to control your emotions and hold that negativity until it fade away and only express positivity, or don't say nothing at all. Just take a deep breath and just move forward. Sometimes, like the YAHHILA'S say, our parents, if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. And that's also a very winning formula in you being able to continue to be more and more victorious in the spiritual warfare realm. So that's basically it for today. Was just a general overview of this 40 years, key points that I've leaving behind. And I hope that whatever journey you are at, that you understand and you be aware of the spiritual warfare, and you always choose to become more victorious and be more of a person that promote and give expression to positivity versus the negativity. Because we people that want to live and want to be happy in life, it's not just us. We want to encourage others. And the more you do positivity, express positivity, you be aware and speak about spiritual warfare, battles that everyone go through, the more positivity will be poured into this world that we all share and that we all live. And yeah, so thanks for staying with me. And one last thing is that if you don't get my book called Lead Yourself. And it's basically saying what I said before. Once you get to a level of maturity, adult, you need to disconnect your 100% dependency on people, society, and you put yourself in the position of the leader of your world, and you manage society and the elements of life, more so people and their institutions, the same way you manage money and any other tool in life. Lead yourself. You can buy the book, you can contact me on however way you want, social media, and I'll make sure that you get this book and everything. But it's very, very informative and will get you in a realm of consciousness to understand the game of life and how you must play the game, understand the pieces and different characteristics of the game and how everybody plays, so you can always be in a position of winning. Meaning you can always be in a position of your agenda being a priority. But it's all based on life and living, because you can do the same. You can lead yourself, but at the same time, if it's not life and living, it won't service you. You will take on that responsibility of leading yourself, but you will still be getting the negative experiences of life if such leading oneself is not based on life and living, meaning being healthy, being developing good relationships, taking care of yourself, all these things, life. And you are wise enough and understand enough to understand what gives life, what encourages one to enjoy life, what encourages others to be happy, to be less stressed. All these positive things is the basis from which I advise one to lead themselves and also manage and lead the tool of society, whether it's friends, family, so you can be able to make sure that such tool, such person, such institution, such corporation is used in a way that it's building the reality that you want, and it's not harming and stopping you from building the reality that you want. Lead yourself. Get the book. See you next time.